boy.
Welcome to Five Lemons Laughing. It's just me and Penny today. Yes, I
Ah,
love Penny,
I love
but I love
Drusilla.
my other three Lemonettes who are not here today. Melissa, Amanda, and Morgan are off and experiencing life today. So Penny and I said, okay, what are we going to talk about today? Because the topic we had planned to talk about, we're not able to do so with just the two of us. So we are going to push that off to another week. And I said, well, there's a lot of chaos going on as usual in the world of politics and just life in general. So I said, why don't we talk about that and how we're able to cope with all the chaos and confusion or things that we perceive to be chaotic and confusing. Why don't we just talk about that and how we're able to stay grounded in our spiritual journeys and remain at peace um, and able to kind of know what's going on without taking it on and allowing it to penetrate our daily practice.
I
So
love that, Drusilla. And it makes me a little nervous too.
oh,
Yeah, what's going on in the
understand.
world? It is, I used to say it's unbelievable, but now I've changed it to it's outrageous. It's just outrageous what is occurring right in front of our eyes.
Yeah.
And so it's really important for me to stay grounded and to do my spiritual practices every morning so that I can put up that shield of protection to
Yes.
keep myself aligned with the truth of who I am. We were just talking about that. And so, yeah, it is outrageous to me. So,
I agree. It's
yeah.
almost like I do every now and again get these podcasts that come across on YouTube, and it's like the sky is falling, kind of
Mhm, mhm.
theories. But most of them are saying that brace yourself. We're just shifting. The whole universe is shifting. So all of the vibrational shifts are creating upheavals. They're creating shifts in politics as well as in entertainment and if in everything.
The
And that's
environment.
what we're witnessing,
Yeah.
and not necessarily to look at it as a bad thing, just look at it as a shift.
Yeah, I think I heard that the conservative Christians last week thought the rapture was coming. And I just heard that briefly yesterday. I thought that was interesting. That once again, it was supposed to hit us. It didn't, but we're still here. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
So what's the most alarming part for you, Penny, when you think about what appears to be chaotic in the world today?
Well, I think the going after political opponents, like that's what I'm seeing, like indicting people that there's really nothing to stand on, but I'm just seeing that the president of the United States is using his power to punish people.
Mhm.
And I think that's the most alarming because where does it stop? I mean, I live in a blue state, California, and thank
Mhm.
God Governor Gavin Newsom is like fighting against, or not fighting, but he's attempting to show how ridiculous what's going on. Yeah, and he's not letting the bully. It's like we're in the schoolyard and the bully's out there,
Mhm.
hitting us with all the dodgeballs right in the head.
Mhm.
And either we can turn around and say stop it, or we can, yeah, just go and cry to mommy. And I don't think crying to mommy is working. So yeah. But anyway, so I live in a blue state. And I mean, we've already seen him bring the National Guard into Los Angeles, and he's doing it. It's so interesting that he wants to punish the blue states
Mhm.
for their beliefs. And yeah. And I was listening to a podcast last night where um, the Democrats have went so far left and the Republicans have went so far right that they are not willing to compromise or hear each other's side. And it's sad that we
Mhm.
can't that they can't come to an agreement. So
Yeah.
that's what's the most alarming thing for you, Drusilla?
Well, that what you just named for sure, because just like you said, that's coming from the top. It's coming from, the person who's supposed to be guiding us
Hmm.
and leading us. And of course, we'd rather have someone leading us to peace, no matter what that looks like. And it doesn't feel that that's the direction, right?
Did
But
you?
it
I have to
also,
just jump in for 1 second. When you said peace, he just, with the Gaza,
Mhm,
Hamas, and Israel,
mhm.
he just announced, I think it was 2 days ago, that he is creating uh, something of peace, and
Peace
he's
treaty.
the leader of it.
He's-
Yeah.
I think I got wind of something like that as well.
Do you remember what it was called? The department that he's doing? It's for the Israel Hamas.
I think it was, I don't know if the peace treaty is the right word.
No, it was, and it wasn't a
Was
Department
it?
of Peace. It was something peace. I can't remember, but anyway, it was hilarious.
Well, he changed the Department of Defense to the Department of War.
Yes.
So war and peace are opposing
Hmm.
forces. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
you know, but, besides that, I do, because I have began to look at our president as a almost a non-factor in the global scheme of things. Like, okay, so he can be used as well. And I feel like he is being a puppet and he just doesn't realize it.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I've been less concerned about his power, but I'm looking at what's going on with the everyday person and that there's attacks on each other. There's the mass shootings every single day,
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
School shootings, like churches. It's
Yeah.
almost every day. And I know we did an episode maybe a couple months ago on what it feels like in the world in general, and that people feel like disconnected. And to me, it's like that's the only way that people could be acting out in that way is that they
Hmm.
feel disconnected from, everybody else, and
Yeah.
and that comes from being disconnected from source. And so to me, that's probably also one of the most alarming things going on today.
Yeah. And it's being encouraged.
Hmm.
Disconnection is being encouraged, and the violence is. I feel it's being incited. I
Hmm.
mean, I've never. Well, it's a new world, I guess. We've never heard a president tell the other party, the opposing party, to F off.
Right.
And that's basically
Yes.
what he said when they tried to have a meeting to come to an agreement. He said,
Hmm.
it's so outrageous.
Yeah. And sometimes I do look at it when if I go back to what I said a few minutes ago about him being used,
Hmm.
um, what does that look like in my mind? So in my mind, it looks like, okay, so he's being used to tear down the old structure. Doesn't mean that he's going to be in place to rebuild it.
Yeah.
Bad news is Rome has to fall, right? That's what they were saying. So the United States has to fall, and that's what I see and that's what I feel. And he's just being used to do it, you know. That's just what it feels like to me.
And then it goes back to the stallion story. Is it good or is it bad? We don't know. We really don't know because we can't see
Mhm.
in all directions of time and space. And one of our lessons this last week was, let me get back to it. It was, um, let all things be exactly as they are.
Yes. Yes.
Man.
So the question becomes, how do we do that?
Hmm.
Like realistically. Uh, so for me personally, I do listen to the news sparingly. I read the headlines as they come across my phone. Um, and I think over the years I have built up a fence around me that doesn't let something so, I guess, that I don't have to engage with, because I know there are people who actually work in politics, you know, or in entertainment where they have to report on things, they have to be a part of it. So I get that it would be difficult to um, not let those things in if you have to be involved in it every day. But for me personally, I just don't allow it to penetrate my heart. I don't let the fear set in. I acknowledge it, and I am aware that things are changing and shifting, and they're changing very
Mhm.
rapidly. Um, but I put my faith and trust in that the statement that you just read, and that all things are working out just as they should.
Yeah.
And attempt to wake up every morning with the peace of God on my mind and focused with strong intentions to go through the day, being aware of things that are going on in the world and being aware that, um, this is truly an illusion. And,
Yeah.
and that on the other side of this, you know, I am still whole and perfect. And no matter what happens, I'm going to be, you know, drafted out of this body and back home and know that it was all an experience and I was here to bring light so that we can all, move towards the light and all go home. And that's what salvation is about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's beautiful. I'm not so able to do that all the time.
Well, not all the time
Yeah.
either. Yeah. So what's your go-to
Well, so
tool?
acknowledge what's going on and then remember the truth of who we are. I guess that's what you're saying, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
remember that um, there's just there's so much good going on in the world too. So I think that's what I'm attempting to focus on
Mm-hmm.
because I'm still listening um, to some of the podcasts like Pod Save America and Brian Cohen Taylor. Well, I think that's his name anyway. And of course, my favorite is to listen to Jimmy Kimmel's monologue every night. I have loved that guy since he started ramming on Trump. On Trump.
Really?
Yes. Oh
I
my
haven't ever
gosh.
listened to him.
Oh,
Yeah.
it is so. He's so funny. He's got so many names. I love it. Um, anyway, so that's I listen to him, so I get a laugh out of all this because if we cry, I mean, yeah. What
Mm-hmm.
was the saying when we were growing up? Crying, you cry alone, but the laugh in the world laughs with you.
Uh-huh.
So
That's right.
yeah. So I try to listen to that and and just see the humor in it all because it is, I mean, but I mean, my life so far hasn't been impacted. I mean, our company's still doing well. Yeah, we're going to get some tariffs on a machine we're getting from Spain, more than
Okay.
we would have anticipated. But when we were going into contract with them, we already knew the tariffs were coming, and so we planned for it.
Okay.
I understand that healthcare insurance is going to go up significantly, and we pay for all of our employees to have healthcare insurance. And
Okay.
our HR person's getting a little nervous about what the new rates are going to be for December is our renewal date. Um, I mean, I'm not personally impacted yet.
Yeah.
And maybe I won't be because maybe I'll remember that everything that's happening, it won't impact me as much as it might impact, I mean, the immigrant family that's just been here for maybe 5 or 10 years and are in fear that because they, you know, um, they say the color of your skin or your accent is impacting how you're treated. And I mean, that's not happening for me. And so
Okay.
I'm shielded in some respects. But I also have to tell you that my husband's name, Peleus, is in Trump's book, The Art of the Deal, because his aunt went against Trump in New York City because he wanted to develop some real estate and she fought him and he called her the witch of the west or something or the witch of the east or something. And she's probably on his list. She's died now, but her
Mhm.
grandson told us about it. And
Oh.
yeah, so it's kind of interesting. Who knows?
Uh-huh.
They might be coming for
You're on the
me.
hit
Yeah,
list.
they might be coming for me.
Yeah, we laugh and jest, but we don't
Yeah.
know what that's going to look like. I mean, you know, and one thing, and this is just a little bit off topic, but I just have to say it because it's so interesting. I do listen to a lot of near death experiences type of podcast because I love knowing about the other side. It just gives me so much comfort.
Uh-huh.
I was listening to one, um, and they were the podcast host was asking questions because this particular person was given just a lot of knowledge and exposure to things, and he was asking a question about, well, when people reincarnate, and they say you reincarnate with in the same clusters or the same personality types, and they asked about a person like Hitler, and they explain that, okay, to answer the first question is, okay, in the same cluster, and you get back there, do you see that person as your grandmother or do you see that person as your grandchild if they were one and the same?
Hmm.
And they were like, the titles don't exist. You just see them as a loving entity of a person that you knew. I'm like, oh, okay, that
Um,
makes sense, right?
hmm.
And it's just a love, it's a feeling, not a title, right?
Hmm.
And then the question about a person like Hitler, and they said, yeah, a person can reincarnate and come back as a villain every time, as like that's their assignment. And
Wow.
and I did go straight to Trump. I'm like, oh, F Hitler reincarnated.
Oh, what year was he born? Trump, 80. He's almost 80. So that would have been, 1940. Five, right? Right? Wow, he could have. Oh my God. Okay. I'll stop now.
Just a little sidebar. I just had to
Yeah.
say that when you said about the last names.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, what was I going to say next? Oh gosh, it totally left me just now. Oh, about you were saying about people, the tariffs and things.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, I was, just discussing that with someone yesterday about the tariffs. I am serving as an agent for a person who's a screenwriter, and she just wrote this story that's going to be based out of Nigeria.
Oh.
And so we're going to pitch it at a pitch festival in October. And I just heard yesterday that Trump is invoking 100% tariff on films made outside of the US. I'm like, how's that going to come across in the pitch? I'm like, you just never know where this stuff is going to impact you and how people are going to perceive it and respond to it. Because even if I tell myself that, I'm not going to walk in fear, I'm going to just keep moving, I don't know how that's going to impact other people and how they're going to manage their business and their finances, you know, and I can't worry about it, but it is a thought. It is a thought.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just have to keep coming back to everything's going to be okay.
Mhm.
Everything is going to be okay. It's going to be, oh gosh, I was just felt like I was going to say a Trump's word. It's going to be painful. Yeah.
Yeah, and as
Or
far as what
not.
you were saying about all of the great things going on in the world, and I was just talking to another friend about she and I both started new businesses. I became a filmmaker out of COVID, and she started a new business. She was working for a construction company, and she started her own construction company out of COVID. And so many new businesses popped up out of COVID, right?
Hmm.
And so that's an example of one big disaster where there were so many positive things that did come out of that time,
Hmm.
So we just have to look at examples like that and say, there's probably going to be so many wonderful things to come out of this presidency. It's hard to see it right now, but I can
Yeah.
imagine that there will be.
Yeah. And every situation, if we can, there's a gift in it. There's a gift for us. And so looking for the good in the gift. And it may not be, what I'm learning is that may not, if it's something that's impacting you tremendously, you may not be able to look for the gift yet, but
Mhm.
eventually you'll be able to do that. I really believe that. And
Yeah.
so, yeah. The gifts. Look for the gifts. Look for the
Yes.
good. Yeah. Yeah. And I think for me too, it's continuing to ground myself and get into my loving heart on a daily basis to start my day out that way. And when my computer pops up with some headline, I attempt to not look at it because I know it's not going to help me. But sometimes I get pulled in, and then I spend like, I don't know, a half hour to an hour looking at what's going on because I really don't have a lot of time to watch the news. I mean, like I did want to watch a little bit last night, but I had a meeting, and so I don't know how it panned out from the pundits, with the
Mm-hmm.
government
Mm-hmm.
shutting down. And maybe when this podcast is published, who knows what'll have happened with the government shutting down because there's been so many threats and so much fear put out there about it. But I think it's probably for the best to
Mm-hmm.
do this because the right and the left have to begin to talk. They have to.
Yeah.
We just can't
Yes.
be this polarized nation any longer. Too many people are being harmed by it. Like
Mm-hmm.
you were saying, the church, the schools, the shootings of just people out there
Mm-hmm.
spreading their word.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, we always think about God's will be done.
Yes.
And when I hear that the other side says that every day too, let God's will be done through me today, I'm going, okay. It's kind
Listen,
of
that's
hard.
something to think about.
It's something
Yeah,
to
it's
think
their
about.
God too. It's their God too, right?
Yes. Yes. It's kind of
Yeah,
hard
we
for
tend
me.
to want to monopolize,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
yeah, it's their God too, and
Yeah.
that it forces you to put even more trust in God,
Hmm.
to say like, okay, it truly is God's will because if we're both saying, let
Yeah.
thy will be done, and at the same time we're thinking it's what we want as well,
Hmm.
when you look at it that way, it's like, okay, you really have to remove self
Yeah.
and to know that it is truly God's will that you want to be done.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I think when I'm forcing and pushing and trying to save and fix people, it doesn't work. And
it
if I can
doesn't.
just release the reins, let go, take the oars out of the water and go with the flow. And my life is a life of action. And if I'm listening, if I'm doing my spiritual practices and I'm getting the intuitive hits on what, that inner guidance is saying, Penny, this is what
Hmm.
you need to go do. I need to take action on those intuitive hits when I know for sure that,
Yes,
it's my intuition and not my ego telling me to do something. Yeah. So that's
yes,
another
I like
thing
that.
that we can all do is to continue to cultivate our connection with our higher power. And when our higher power is guiding us, allow it to.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree. That is one of the most powerful ways I find is
Hmm.
staying connected and just acceptance.
Yeah.
Melissa would love that I said that today.
Acceptance is the key. Yep, it is.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, to be aware of
Yeah.
what's going on with your emotions in your body.
Hmm.
And when you feel any type of tension in it, to um, be aware of that and
Hmm.
to ask yourself, where is that coming from? Is it something I'm making up? Is it really
Hmm.
true? The feelings, the thoughts that I'm thinking. Um, and we tend to want to let our emotions drive us instead of knowing that your emotions are following your thoughts. And it's much easier to control your thoughts by being aware of them and asking yourself, is this what I'm thinking really true?
Yeah.
Is it true for everybody? Is it true for the whole world? And if not, then why are we carrying that thought around as if it is true?
Yeah. There's so much baggage that we carry from when we're really young kids and we have no ability to discern what's right and what's wrong, what's true and what's not true. And
Hmm.
so, yeah, I'm untangling all that still.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's slow.
Mm-hmm.
But in the AA program, it says the promises of the program are so powerful, and so I think that we can bring those promises into our podcast today. And just let me pull it up really quick. I have it here on my computer because it is so profound that Bill Wilson wrote this. Gotta find it. Oh my gosh. Here it is. If we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we're halfway through. We are going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. We will not regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. We will comprehend the word serenity and we will know peace. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That feeling of uselessness and self pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and of economic insecurity will leave us. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. We will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Are these extravagant promises? We think not. They are becoming fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialize if we work for them. So I just love the promises of the AA program.
I love that.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
yeah. So,
It really resonated with me. I remember doing a what do I want to call it? Well, it was a meditation where we were asked to let go of the past. And the way that they had you do that was to envision your old self, you know? And so there's two of you, right? There's your old self and the person that you aspire to be. And imagine the old self with all these bags and backpacks and just loaded down with luggage and bid her farewell,
mhm,
you know, thank her or him and have a discussion with them about, it took a lot for you to get me to this point. You went through a lot, you experienced a lot, you took a
mhm,
lot of shit from a lot of
mhm,
people,
mhm,
and you were the buffer for my heart, for my soul. But I've grown beyond that now, and I don't need that anymore, And and they asked if we wanted to give her a name. And one of my cousins used to call me Lucy when I was little. So I named her Loopy Lucy. And I bid Lucy farewell. I'm like, girl, you have done the most, and we are done. I thank you, and we are done. And believe it or not, it enters my mind at least once a day. And it's so funny. I have this really, really strong visual of her clinging to my legs,
oh my
clinging, holding
gosh.
on for dear life. And I'm
Uh,
like,
like a little kid and you're dragging her along, right?
yes. And I'm like, no, I don't need you anymore. Go. You have to go. I am done.
Yeah. Well, do you kick her off? How do you do
Uh-huh.
it?
Yesterday, I start to feel bad about kicking her off. Like,
Mhm.
but no, you have to go. I don't want that anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Those
I
beliefs. Yes.
One time my husband said to me, God, Penny, you have suitcases full of shit all the way out to the driveway, and our driveway is pretty long. And I went, oh my God, that's not a good thing. But I'm going to have to name her
Uh-huh.
and tell her, thank you for everything you've done for me. I
Yes.
appreciate it. Yeah, it's those survival tactics and tools that we think keep us safe, and they really don't. They
Hmm.
are harming us and others. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
releasing that along with the weight of the world, like it's
Yeah.
not our responsibility. God is in control.
Oh, that's the best post-it I think I could write today.
Yes. He
God is
is.
in control. Yeah.
Yeah. We're not
Um,
running amok. Earth
yeah.
is not running amok. We are, experiencing a shift. and God is in control.
Yeah. 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 And from a yoga perspective, we're in Kali Yuga, I think it is. And it's been going on for quite a while. It's a lot of unrest. And we're coming out of Kali Yuga. I think I'm saying it right. Kali Yuga now is what my mentor told me. And so it's just like, thank God.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't want to be in all this well, listen to me stating what I do and do not want. I am out of acceptance now, but it's been uncomfortable. We'll just say that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I think
Yeah.
it's been for quite a few years, like maybe hundreds of years. So our whole
Yeah.
lifetime we've been in Kali Yuga, and
Mhm.
so yeah, which is really interesting.
Which
Yeah,
means we know that we volunteered to come here during this time. So,
exactly. Yeah. So let's harvest the learning and move on,
right.
right?
Yes. Like I've said plenty of times, because I don't think I want to come back and do this again. I think this is my last time. This is my last rodeo. So
That's
harvest the learning. I like that.
yeah. Yeah, it's October, so let's harvest. Let's finish up the
Yes.
harvest and see what happens. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Well, this has been fun, Drusilla.
Yes, it has.
Yeah.
Pity.
Do you have any final thoughts? I love your hat. You have to come close to let the whoever's listening to this podcast see your hat.
So,
It's
yes. So
yeah.
I came across this at a market, and the hat says, "They didn't believe in us, God did." So the owners of the company created this brand because they had a clothing line that they created and they couldn't get funding. Nobody would invest in their business. And so they went on this whole marketing campaign and went out to all the markets to sell their products. And so they said that nobody else believed in them. So, but God did. And so that's what they branded their clothing line.
I
So
love
they
it.
supported it with a
Yeah.
sweatshirt and hat and pants, the whole nine.
I love it. And where did you see him at a farmer's market or something? Is that where you saw him?
No, at Atlantic Station, they have a
Oh,
market during the summer months every Saturday and Sunday.
wow. Sounds
Hmm.
awesome. I love
Yeah.
that. I'm going to look them up. I bet they have a website.
Oh yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, what a fun time, Drusilla. I was not
Yes.
sure what we were going to create today.
It was great.
I do too. I think it's been really
I
fun.
hope that I know the audience will enjoy, talking about some real things going on in the world today.
Yeah. Yeah. And if it's, yeah, well, let me do my post-its and then we'll wrap it up. So the very first one is acknowledge what's going on and remember who we are. And I couldn't remember how to write remember. So I'm going to have to remember who I am. um, and then we talked about also that look for the good and the
Yes.
gift. Yeah,
Yes.
let's just look for the good and the gift and remember that it's their God too. Thy will be
Yes.
done. I mean, that's a big one. That when, yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah, and acceptance is the key, and God's in control. That's
Yes.
promises of the program. It will materialize if we just stay in connection with our higher power. Yeah, good will prevail. It always does. Always
It's
does.
their God too. I think that should be the name of this one.
Yeah, it's their God too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We don't like that too much, do we?
it's hard. Oh boy. Yeah. So if you are facing challenging times and you'd like some support, all five of us are coaches or spiritual counselors, and we'd be so happy to support you in your transformation, to unpack and untangle whatever's going on in your life so that you can stay in your loving heart and you can be in acceptance and you can have trust and faith, deepen that, cultivate that connection to your higher power. Because life can be challenging, but there's always gifts if we're willing to look for them. So, with that, have a beautiful day. And remember, your transformation is our greatest joy. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.